going to be a what? Lovely day. Lovely day. Okay. Oh, lovely day. Lovely day. It's about days being lovely even when they are not. It's about knowing and hoping and expecting that the day is going to be lovely even if it's raining. I painted my house. The previous owner, she got kind of upset when I had the person to come and check for paint, because she thought I was going to leave that color in there. She thought it was, it was all good. But no, it was gloomy and it was blue. That would have worked in the Sunshine States. But I needed something that every day I wake up and I know it's going to be a lovely day. I need something bright and shiny. And even though it's gloomy outside, when I look up, only thing I see is brightness in my home. And that's what it is about joy. This third candle, joy. Somebody called it, one of the writers said it's unspeakable. Joy. So, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the University Church. We are so glad that you are here and making God God and worshiping and learning and loving. If you are online today, please make sure you put your name and say good morning or say joy in the comments and let us know where you are worshiping from. Don't forget, Communion Sunday is every Sunday for this house, and so don't forget to go get your crackers, your bread, your cookies. On the Sunday after Thanksgiving, we had chocolate chip cookies and hot chocolate. So make sure you get those out so they may be blessed when we go through our liturgy. Today's sermon, it says, okay, I use it twice. Disciples rejoice. Disciples rejoice. But let's change it to emphatic. Disciples rejoice! Our text comes from Philippians 4:4-7 from the New Revised Standard Version. And thus it reads, rejoice in the Lord always. Again I will say rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Let us pray. Most merciful and everlasting God, we rejoice today. We are excited, exuberant about you coming. We're excited and exuberant in expectation of your birth. But not only your birth, of your coming again. We're excited and we're rejoicing to learn about how to rejoice. Thank you, O Father, for allowing your spirit of the teacher to rest in here and your spirit of student. Keep us forever in your arms as we grow as your disciples. In the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
We are continuing our new series this morning, The Evidence of Discipleship. Thank you. And that reminds me, I can't see. All right. Oh no, I can't see the real. I thought I had my glasses.
What?
Oh, that's why I got an iPad. The evidence of discipleship. As disciples, there's a lot to go with that. And it's at a cost. We found out that disciples watch, disciples prepare, and today disciples rejoice. as disciples, the leading of the Holy Spirit is not always comfortable or easy. It's not easy to watch. It's not easy to wait. And how many know it is not easy to rejoice? Not in these times. Many people say they can't even find anything to be rejoicing about. And especially in this season, what sometimes we would do round about now would be have Blue Christmas. For those who have nothing, they inside of them, they can't find joy. While we decking the halls, they are crying. We see in Scripture that Jesus assumes, and Paul, the apostles, assume that we will connect with the fruit of the Holy Spirit and find a way to rejoice. We'll live our lives in prayer, fasting, watching, waiting, and preparing, and living a life of rejoicing. At this time, of this season, children all over everywhere are watching and waiting and with a spirit of exuberation bubbling up inside. They can't wait. Apostle Paul's letter to the church of Philippi is to share with them wisdom and encouragement for living out their faith in Christ and standing strong when struggles and persecution might occur. Can you imagine? They are going through something and Paul is saying, rejoice. They are being killed and Paul is saying, rejoice. People are dying all around and Paul tells us, rejoice. People are getting cancer and HIV and all these diseases, and Paul says, rejoice. Car crashes, pandemic, legislation, whatever you want to call it, hurricanes, volcanoes. You saw the volcano in Hawaii. Tsunami. And Paul still says, can you say it with me? Rejoice. Philippians 4 centers mostly on Paul, conveying to the believers and disciples what to focus on during times of uncertainty. Well, I don't know what to do. Rejoice. I'm in pain. Rejoice. I'm in pain. Rejoice. My heart is breaking. Rejoice. Really? Then I tell you, discipleship is costly, right? When we look at the text in Matthew, and I don't have it on the script, but when we look at the text in Matthew and the Beatitudes, Beatitudes, have an attitude of be. One of them, it says blessed. Well, when we go and look at the Hebrew and the Aramaic, it says happy. Happy when you mourn. Why? Because they shall be comforted. Happy the poor in spirit. For they shall, why? For they shall inherit the earth. Rejoice in uncertain times. Why? Because there's a promise. Paul wants his readers, and especially us, to know that as we go through challenges, they will be able to do more. We will be able to do more because Christ is in us. Thus, this rejoicing is anticipatory joy. It is living in hope, in faith, and knowing there is still joy somewhere. It's dark in Ukraine, but there's joy, even in the midst of ashes. We heard in the Isaiah text, be glad, they shall come home rejoicing, even though they were in captivity. I came in this morning illustrating, and no one understood the movie, got the movie. So I said, I'll wait till I get to the sermon. I came into the front door and I said, it's Christmas time! And I came in. I said, it's Christmas, it's Christmas, it's Christmas. Elf. You remember the movie? How many saw the movie Elf? I mean, they play it forever and ever and ever. My favorite part, if I could have pulled it up and we had the license to pull it up, I would show you. Remember when he goes to the department store and he goes through the revolving door, and he really don't know how to get out of the revolving door, but he hears that Santa is coming. Because he heard them say, Santa, we're going to bring Santa in. And what does he do? Santa's coming, Santa's coming. Woo, Santa's coming. That was anticipatory joy. Kids get said, Santa's coming. But guess what? We're supposed to be that excited. Jesus is here. Jesus is here. Oh my God, Jesus is here. I can see him. I'm anticipating him. I'm anticipating it's going to happen. Something is about to happen. That's what God wants us to get. That even that is low right now. It may be low right now for some people, but I know God's coming. I know it's going to happen. I know healing's going to occur. Whether it's physical healing, mental healing, spiritual healing, I know it's going to occur. Even in death, that's healing. I know healing is coming. Yay! But I'm crying. But I still have what? Joy. Do you know there are 62 Bible verses about rejoicing? Psalm 32:11 says, be glad in the Lord and rejoice, you righteous ones, and shout for joy, all you upright in heart. Those who know the Lord, rejoice. Shout. Shout. Good times, bad times, in between times. Shout. Joy in the Old Testament. Essentially a sense of exaltation rooted in God and God's acts for God's people, which typically is expressed in exuberant public worship. I know, y'all used to do it like that.
For us.
We're going to help you out. In our book that we're studying, The Wesleyan Way, Bishop Scott says there's two types of Wesleyans. It's the charismatic type because John, they used to sing all the time. Why do you think Charles Wesley had so many hymns? They sang all the time. They sang and they ate. And so there's a set that's going to sing and be excited and clap and jump, and I'm part of that group. And then there's some Wesleyans that's going to be reserved. Maybe joy is bubbling up on the inside, but you never know it. Well, that's not true. Because when joy is in your heart, you can't do nothing but what? Smile. You can't do, you can't, I'm talking about it and I'm smiling now. I can't help it. I can calm down though. But I can still, I got to be excited. I'm excited. I'm excited about the new things. What is God going to do around the corner that I can't see? In the New Testament, joy is an inner sense of exaltation inside and a confidence in God, which the Holy Spirit works in the lives of believers and which we experience despite present sufferings. That comes from the Reverend Concise Bible Dictionary. And despite, that's what Paul was trying to say in the church, to the church of Philippi. Despite your suffering, have confidence in God, that God will. So I want to let you know, this is not a blind joy, or a joy that neglects the brokenness and need that surrounds us. This joy opens our eyes to what is really happening in the world and in us. That I see the bad, but I know God is. I see the worst, but I know God is. I'm crying inside and out, but I know God is. This joy is part of the fruit of the Holy Spirit. It is that which lives inside the disciple. I can't make this up, people. I can't conjure this up. It's already there. See, this kind of joy is that I've been through hell and high water, but I know what's on the other side. So I count it all joy when I come into all kinds of tribulations and trials. You see, it is a time, joy, this kind of joy is a time of remembering that Emmanuel, God with us, is revealed in us during great times and in turbulent times. I remember when my mom died, my biological mother died. Now, you remember, like I said, all my siblings, we weren't raised together, but we all in God, literally, all but one is not ordained. And we never, all my biological mother's children are in, working, serving God. And only one of them is not ordained. Out of 5.
You pick on that person. You pick on that person.
I pick on that one? No, we don't pick on her. She's the oldest. We know better. But I remember when my mother and she asked me to do the eulogy. The least of these. I'm the black sheep. The least of these, because I was raised different from everybody. And we went in a time of singing at the funeral and rejoicing, and it was so funny, people looking at us like we were crazy. But we knew, we had already that assurance that she went out singing. Before, Billy can tell you, before she put that oxygen on for the last time, she helped us sing and rejoice. She said, I'm good. Y'all better make sure y'all stay good. See, this joy is not being happy. It's not about being happy. Happy comes with, and I could be happy now and crying today. Anybody ever been like that? I could be happy right now and then start crying. Sad. Because I think of something that made me sad. So it's fleeting. It's an emotion. Happiness is an emotion. Joy is a spirit from God. It is knowing that the Lord is near and holding dear to the hope that Jesus will never leave us nor forsake us. See, I knew I was covered. So why do we have joy and rejoicing in Advent? Because Advent is the time to remember disciples are to posture themselves in expectant joy. And I used the word, when I was typing it in my sermon, the what's it called, autocorrect kept trying to put position. No, posture. You know how your parents used to say you have good posture? Sit up straight. Yeah, we slouch over. Yeah, many of us slouch over in life. Woo! We slouch over in life. We got the woe is me. But Advent is the time to tell us to put your, what did you say? Shoulders back, turn it in, stand straight. But we're going to do this in expectant joy. But I'm in a situation that calls for this. But no, I got to do this. Paul writes to the church of Philippi. I want to read it from the Passion Translation. Sorry. Did I jump ahead of myself? Posture and stuff. Yeah. Be cheerful with joyous celebration in every season of life. What season of life are you in now? You still supposed to be cheerful. Let your joy overflow. Well, I lost my job. Still, let your joy over. But I just got a bad report from the. Still, let your joy. My son is at my children. The world done lost its mind. But let your joy overflow, and let gentleness. In the Aramaic it says humility. Let humility. Do y'all know what humility is? That means understanding that you are not what?
It.
You're not.
Not it.
Not it. You're not in control. If everybody just say the word humility. Say
Humility.
humility. What happens? Your body comes up and then it goes down. Ooh. Let humility be seen in every relationship. For our Lord is ever near. God is right there. So be humble yourselves. Don't be pulled into different directions or worried about a thing. Don't be getting pulled everywhere. This is going on, that's going on. Anybody's got that going on even now in their life? This here and that there. And you need to stop, breathe, and just humble yourselves. And say, okay, my joy. I got the joy back up here because you will not steal my joy. This situation will not steal my joy. I've been there. I've had people say, how you can be like that? Jesus, the Holy Spirit. Be saturated. Oh, I like that word. You know, saturated. You ever, you take a slice. Okay, I'm going to go holiday illustration. Anybody ever made a fruit or nut cake? No? Anybody eat a fruit and nut cake? Okay. So my grandmother, being as old, now she's been 150, she's still living. My grandmother would make fruit cake or nut cake from scratch. And when the cake was fully done, she would have a vat of homemade wine that my dad made. And she literally would lower that cake in that vat of wine and let it sit there, covering it until it was what? Saturated. Nothing but wine all in the cake. Now, the children couldn't eat that, right? Homemade wine was okay. It was more sweet than alcohol. Yeah, right. And then she would take it out and she would duck it again. Oh yeah, got to make sure. Got to make sure. Take it out. It's dripping. That's what it says here. Saturate us. Saturate in prayer. Get dunked 2 or 3 times in prayer until it's all through you and run over you. And now you don't even have time to be worried about what's going on because I've been with God. I've been with the Father. It says saturate in prayer throughout each day, offering your faith-filled requests before God with overflowing gratitude. Oh my, can we get gratitude anymore? People don't want to be grateful. We want to complain about it. The gas price is high. Well, aren't you grateful that you're not in California? I'm just saying. It's cold. Aren't you grateful you have a coat? It's raining. Then you be complaining it was sun shining too much. Be grateful. With gratefulness. Tell him every detail of your life. Then God's wonderful peace that transcends human understanding will guard your heart and mind through Jesus Christ. Rejoice. Oh my. So Pastor, you gonna counter, this is counter society, isn't it? That's why the discipleship is so hard. Because it is counter this society. Thus, Why do we celebrate Advent? Advent rejoicing calls us back to a sense of watchful waiting for signs of God's kingdom breaking out in surprising places in unexpected times among people we might not have chosen. The young lady, Mariah, that I'm asking you to help, and her 2 children. I didn't know that. From Adam's Hampstead. Isn't that old? God. But God said to help them. And so I brought them in the house. Jim Whiteman gave me a Christmas tree, and I'm like, I don't put no tree up. My house is not finished. The guy didn't finish the house. I'm complaining. And God said, stop. Okay, God, I give you just because I have a house. Mm-hmm. Here comes this homeless young lady with 2 little ones. Hello, you better get grateful. She has a friend with her that came from Tupelo, Mississippi with them. Mm-hmm. How about he's a licensed carpenter? Certified, you know, with the certificate, went to school for it. Oh, Pastor Martin, I could do this, this, and this. That young man came in our house and everything that was not that was not fixed, in 1 week fixed everything. Down to the painting of the wall. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Talking about seeing signs of God's kingdom breaking out in surprising places. What? You know what made me think about them? Was Mary and Joseph. Mm-hmm. Surprising. What? This young man can do what? And they're homeless. Surprising places. And then was I expecting my house to be finished before Christmas? No. I was hoping to get it done, married, I said, maybe by summer. And among people, would I have chosen them? These people off the street, these people gave 2 little girls, they don't have no real good coats on. The mama don't have a coat on, you know, just have a little thin zip-up jacket. And how about God just blessed us in a week? That's what Advent is about, expectancy. Expectancy. Advent is a time of joy, a time of expectancy. Expectant is an adjective, a descriptive word meaning having or showing an excited feeling that something is about to happen, especially something pleasant and interesting. This same word, when it is embodied and held within the grasp of faith, becomes a noun describing a person who anticipates receiving something, especially a higher level of office. Thus, if you are expectant, you are excited because you think something interesting is about to happen. I think something is interesting about to happen here at the University Church. I have this joy. I have that expectancy now. God showed me with a couple coming in and my house got finished. And then Jim giving me a Christmas tree that I didn't think I was going to put up. Now these young ladies, you saw the picture. They're at my house and I pulled the tree out and let these young ones put the tree together, looking at the colors. It was so good to see them put the colors, finding what colors, and the 4-year-old, this is white, this is black, they're red, they're orange, and put it together and then decide, and then they're going to trim the tree. And the little one has never trimmed the tree. Can you imagine the joy that came in my house? Yeah. Running around, these little ones running around, and the 4-year-old, I want to do it. We had to sit them down, make them go to bed, come back. I want to do it, run, just taking the tinsel and running, the garland and running around the tree, stepping all over my plant. I sent y'all the video. Get off of my plant.
Don't let that poor kid.
Yeah, because he was on my plant. But then I was laughing. Yeah, but I was laughing with them because the joy. And the mom sent me a text back afterwards and said, thank you. They had so much fun. They had not had that. Can you see how Advent gives us this? Advent, rejoicing, expectancy. Paul writes to the church of Philippi to rejoice and always rejoice. Rejoicing is about being in a posture of expectancy. This type of joy is not something you can conjure up or make happen. It is a sense of waiting, watching, preparing with excitement. So as I close, how are we living the promise in our community right now? How are we being joyful? Are we of the complaining group? Are we Scrooges? Have society made us Scrooges? Are we living out the Christmas carol in our lives? How are we lighting a light that others might see and find their way into this relationship of exuberant joy? Those are the questions I leave to you. Can we be like Elf in the movie? But instead of singing Santa's coming, can we sing Jesus is here? Jesus is here. I'm excited. Jesus is coming. I'm excited because I'm in expectation that even though I may be crying, I'm still excited. So disciples, rejoice as we have you to come to the table today. As we have you to come rejoicing. Smiles on your face. And you may not, now if you be like me from the noisy crew, yay! Miss Mary said I can't do that here yet. But I can do it today. Hallelujah! Woo! She said that would scare y'all. Glory! Hallelujah! I'm excited because God is here. Emmanuel. And as the Emmanuel, God with us, revealed in us, his name is called Emmanuel. So disciples, rejoice as we prepare for Holy Communion. Jesus and the disciples shared a meal. We come sharing a meal. Rejoicing, as in the Isaiah text that we read today. Where the eyes of the blind shall be opened and the ears of the deaf unstopped. Then the lame shall leap like a deer and the tongue of the speechless sing for joy. We call, oh come, Emmanuel. Just rejoice and rejoice. So we come today rejoicing in the breaking of bread. Sometimes life is like that. In the breaking of bread and in the sharing of the cup, we come rejoicing. Even though society is dark, we will bring the light, bringing the sheaves in, as scriptures say. We're rejoicing. Shouts of joy. So I challenge you today. It's a big challenge. Instead of complaining for the next, what's this thing, 11? For the next 20-some days, 21 days, this month of December. When you want to complain, just do a shout of joy. You can do biblical, hallelujah! Glory! Or if that's not, you can just say joy. When you want to go down in the deep, just holler joy. Joy. I encourage you. So as we come to the table, which is the bread, where Jesus rejoiced. Even in the sadness of his Lord to the cross, there was still rejoicing. So Father, we lift these elements up to you. And we remember to rejoice. Rejoice all the way to the cross and back. Rejoice